baseball page, and we're ready to go racing in this wonderful series, IROC number 14. Now, you may remember last year, Terry Labonte wrapped up the championship in IROC 13 in what was a terrific series. The objective? Take some of the greatest drivers in the world, put them in equally matched race cars, drivers from different disciplines, road racing, stock car racing, IndyCar racing, match them up, put them on 3 different race courses, and at the end of the series, total up the points and determine the overall champion. So we're ready to go. 12 of the finest in motorsports, and they're identically prepared Dodge Daytonas. The front row, down on the inside, in the pink car is Bobby Rahal out of IndyCar racing. The outside is Mark Martin, the stock car driver in the yellow car. In the second row, Danny Sullivan, that lime green number 3 down on the inside. The dark blue car is Dorsey Schroeder, the Trans Am champion. Back in the third row, Rusty Wallace, the rose-colored car, down on the inside, and Emerson Fittipaldi, the reigning kart IndyCar world champion. In the fourth row, the black car is Geoff Brabham, the IMSA champion, and that bright blue car to the outside is Unser Jr. The silver car, moving up from the fifth row, is Dale Earnhardt. To the outside, the mustard-colored machine is rookie Martin Brundle. And in the sixth and final row, the red car is Darrell Waltrip on the inside, and the orange car is the defending IROC champion Terry Labonte. They come to the start. The pace begins to pick up now. Some strategy already being played at the back of the field. They come across the line. Mark Martin to the high side as he begins to pull ahead of Bobby Rahal.
Well, they're staying lined up just exactly the way they came across the start-finish line, Paul.
Rusty Wallace in the rose-colored car makes a move early as he dipped down across the track and swooped up to pick up his partner, Mark Martin.
Now, the first few laps, Paul, they're going to be feeling each other out. Remember, they've never run these new Dodge cars, these Daytonas, in traffic, with this much traffic. So they're going to be seeing, is passing really possible?
Earnhardt down on the inside, and the silver car begins to move. He's using a low line. The low groove is working for him as he comes up and drops into 4th place.
Earnhardt has never won an IROC race, despite the fact that he's won almost everything else in stock car racing. So this means a lot to him.
Watch the other guys, Paul. They just immediately started breaking up. The minute they saw Dale Earnhardt do it, everybody went for just grooves every place to see if they'll cut the air by themselves.
Looking back from Mark Martin's car, that's Rusty Wallace's machine just behind. And of course, the trick here, Bobby Unser, is for you to partner up if you possibly can.
Yes,
now, already Wallace is partnered up with Martin. They're going to take advantage of the draft and try to pull away.
Well, they're going to try to do that. Remember, one driver will partner up with any other driver. Anybody to play ball with them is what they do.
Back to the front of the field as Rusty Wallace comes up to the front, and Earnhardt tucks in behind Wallace as well, as Mark Martin for a moment gets caught out of line, but now comes in side by side with Earnhardt.
Wallace won his first ever IROC race. It'd be interesting to see if Mark Martin in the yellow car right behind him now could duplicate that feat today. Although being a rookie here, he has, of course, Martin does, in that yellow car, vast experience in this kind of super speedway racing.
And traditionally, if you get out of line here, you go back to the back. So far, it's looking like if you get out of line, or at least there can be 2 lines, you can keep on passing. Got a lot of position changes so far. Maybe the aerodynamic package is going to be a little bit better this year.
6 cars run together at the front.
The car that surprises me is the dark blue car of Dorsey Schroeder, the Trans Am champion. Really, he has absolutely no experience of any kind on this sort of racing, and yet there he is, right behind Dale Earnhardt. He seems to be doing beautifully. It's worth noting that Dorsey Schroeder has one incredibly busy weekend ahead of him.
But he's been caught out now. He gets caught out as Earnhardt tucks back into the line, and Dorsey now slides backwards.
Absolutely. He flies from here to Topeka, Kansas this afternoon to compete in another race, and then on out to the West Coast to San Francisco to race again tomorrow. So this is the first of 3 races right in a row for Dorsey Schroeder.
On board with Mark Martin looking ahead to the leader of the race at Dodge Daytona of Rusty Wallace. Wallace made his move early on, has picked up to the front, and now is using the advantage of running in the draft with Mark Martin. Mark Martin, by the way, says that these cars are so good, he wished that his Winston Cup car ran as good as this IROC Daytona.
And Rusty Wallace loves this race. He just thinks that this is the nicest type of racing he can do. It's almost like a kid with a new bicycle to go play with in this thing.
Boy, look at Martin's confidence. Remember, he is a rookie in this form of competition, but look, he puts it right in there behind Rusty Wallace.
Now they begin to separate first and second. Here is Earnhardt running in third place right now. Al Unser is just behind him, and this camera is mounted. You can see it in the rear view mirror there. They have a camera mounted on his helmet. Now we're looking over his shoulder. You got a glimpse there. Now you're looking through that helmet cam, and you get an idea of where little Al is looking as he works his way around.
Now he'll team up with Dale Earnhardt, Paul. He and Dale understand each other really well. They're both hard-charging drivers. They'll team up and good and try to get by these guys.
Yes, and Earnhardt has great respect for Al Unser Jr. Although he comes from basically a road racing background, Al Unser Jr. does, he's shown incredible aptitude here for racing in this kind of event.
Battle of two different drafts here as Earnhardt down on the low side is able to work that low groove and picks up the lead, takes Al with him.
Now little Al actually pushed Dale. I noticed their bumpers were actually touching, Paul. A little bit of tapping, and what that does gets him about 3 miles an hour, and it showed right up there. He went right on by the other leader.
Well, if there was any question at all of how good these Dodge Daytonas would be, look at them showing off here. We've seen some great racing already as the first round of the IROC is underway, and out in front is Dale Earnhardt. We'll be right back.